James, how do you do the things you do? I still can't believe that it's true. I get hungry when I think of you. Like champagne and caviar, you're such a treat. Like cherries Jubilee, you're oh so sweet. You whet my appetite each time we meet. Oh, James, it's true. I get hungry when I think of you.
Hi, welcome to the Urban Peasant. I'm eating my Rice Krispies. Now, when I lived in Japan, I ate rice every meal of the day for 3 months. First time I went there, and sometimes I got up to five bowls of rice a day. Now, there's more rice eaten in the world, I think, than any other starch, and it's not all the same. I'll tell you about it later. The stove keeps clicking away there. I put some rice on to cook. Let me show you how to cook rice. You take, doesn't matter what kind of rice you use, take 1 cup of rice and you put it in a saucepan. And then you take 2 cups of water and you put it in a saucepan. Now look, it doesn't matter what size cup you use. You use any old cup. If this is the cup you use for rice, if this is comfortable, that one and 2 cups of it, that's how you do it, okay? Now, then 2 cups of water, a little bit of salt, you put it on the fire, you bring it up to the boil, you put the lid on tight and you turn it right down low and you put it on a little mat like that, and you just put it on there so it's on very low heat, and that's all you have to do. You put the lid on. Now I've got some rice cooking here, and see, now you can see, let me put it right here in the front of me. There it is, nice and fluffy. Each grain's separate. See, it's not all stuck together. It's nice and fluffy and loose because we steamed it. So I suppose the first thing I should tell you is anytime you cook rice, always cook twice as much as you're going to use, because you can do wonderful things with it afterwards. You can do really, really nice things. Today, we're going to make out of leftover rice, we're going to make Javanese fried rice. This is quicker than phoning for the Chinese takeout. This is a lot quicker. Just wait and see what we do. The first thing we do is to get a fry pan. I'll just put that out of the way for a minute. Down there. Fry pan, and we turn up the heat under the fry pan. And while it's heating, we get ourselves whatever kind of vegetables we happen to have. We've got some celery. We've got a bit of leftover red pepper. We've got an onion. We've got some ginger. We've got a carrot, and we've got some red peppers. I'll get the red peppers over here so you can look at them because they look nice, all right? Now, first thing we do always when you're going to cook is to cut up the onion, if you can. So you just cut up the onion and peel it. Just get the skin to come off it. And another one here, a little bit of onion to be ready to cook. And here's another bit. Right. We want some celery. Now, when you cut up celery, just keep your fingers out of the way and just cut it. Get a good sharp knife, because you won't cut yourself with a good sharp knife because it goes through, it doesn't slip. The pepper, we'll just cut that up. Cut it sideways. Keep your fingers out of the way. And there you are. Onions, right. We'll cut off the ends. See, do things in bunches, like we snug those all up tight to one another, and we cut off the ends, all right? Now, the white parts we'll cut into sort of inch-long lengths, and we'll keep those for decoration. We want some garlic. Here's some garlic. We just squash that and get that ready. And we're ready to go. Now, here's the pan, good and hot. You can see. We'll put a little bit of oil in there, just to start off with. We don't want too much in there, because we don't want to have too oily and greasy a dish. And we'll put in, first of all, the onions. Now, The onions can go in quite large. They don't need to be big. And you can cook like this. You can just cook by doing it as you go along, because you remember that onions take a bit longer to cook than anything else. The celery, that goes in there. The bit of ginger, because we want it to taste good. So we put in, now some people might not like ginger, all right? So if they don't, put it in slices. Don't have to mess with shredding it. Just put it in slices and then they can see it and they don't have to eat it. All right? Bit of green pepper. So there we are. We just pull the seeds out of the green pepper, chop it up, and there's the start of our fried rice. I've got some cold rice left over from yesterday that I want to put in there, so I put in about a cupful. In with all those vegetables to cook. Now, if I want to make it look pretty, and this is really important, this is called turmeric. I'm going to put a little bit of this on this counter so you can see what wonderful color it's got. And I'm going to sprinkle it over the rice, about a teaspoonful, and stir it in. And you see how it intensifies the color of all the rice that's in. And this makes stuff, I mean, food goes to the table looking good, and it's going to taste good. If people just look at it, and that's the secret in restaurants. You pay 3 times as much in a restaurant for the food as what it costs, and there you are. Now, we're going to put in this, the onions, the peppers. We've got the celery in there. We want a little tiny bit of red pepper, or we can use either this one or this one. Which one do you want to use? Let's use this one. Right, watch. Right, not too much of it into the pan, and away we go. Now there it is, turning itself into fried rice. To go with fried rice, what you need is an omelette. Let me show you how to make an omelette in a hurry. You just turn on the fire underneath the pan. You get an egg, and don't do all this business of putting milk in omelettes. You don't have to put milk in an omelette. You beat it up very roughly, and the secret is to put half an eggshell full of water. See? Just see that eggshell is half full in with the omelette. Beat it in there. Makes a little steam. Put a little bit of oil into the pan. Pour in the omelette. And when it, whoops, get that out before it fries. We'll just put that in there, shake it around nice and thin. That'll turn to omelette. Java also grows a lot of pepper, so it's not unusual that there's a lot of pepper in a lot of Japanese food. If you put twice as much pepper in this fried rice as you think is necessary, it will taste wonderful. Just look at the color of it. Isn't that gorgeous? See, and the pepper's going in there. That's nice. I'm going to move it out of the way because I want to do something else. So I'm just going to take it over here for now. And I'm going to take the omelette. You remember the omelette that we made? Okay. I'm just going to take this out of the pan, just slide it out here, come out, onto the board like that, because I need the pan to make the egg foo young. Now, you don't have to do a lot of dishes. Wipe it out. All right. I'll put the pan back on the fire, and we will get on and make our egg foo young. Well, first of all, let me show you what to do with this omelette. I'll just put a little tiny bit of oil on it, just a little tiny bit so it won't stick together. And then I'll just roll it up like that, and then take my sharp knife and cut it into slices, and we've got the garnish for our fried rice as soon as we get around to it. Okay? Now, once again, if you're going to cook egg foo young, this is not a rice dish. This is a dish to go with rice. You start off with an onion, and you come right in the door, and you grab an onion. It gets to be your trademark after a while. Hi, honey, where's the onions? And that's how you start your evening. That's how you start your life. Just cut up the onion And I'm going to take that off there before it gets too hot. Don't let the pan get too hot. Learn to use your nose when you cook. Keep your nose going. And if you smell something that's different, and it doesn't have to be bad, it's just different, then do something. That's how they cook in hotels, in big kitchens. The cooks have the stuff on the fire, and they're going like this, and as soon as they smell something, just before it burns, they snatch it off, flip it out, right on the edge. So we're going to chop this onion up small. And we're going to put some oil in the pan. And we're going to put in the onion. And we're going to put in a little bit of celery, because this is an egg foo young, but it just happens to be a better egg foo young than you can get by calling down to the takeout. This is one you make for yourself. We want a little tiny bit of carrot, because I like carrot for the color. So look, we just cut it into things and then turn it round, and we cut it up small. I'm going to show you how to do this in a minute, because this is a fake trick, that cutting stuff up quickly, something that you can learn to do, and it's dead easy. Do you want garlic in this egg foo young? Anybody out there doesn't like garlic? Nobody? Okay, we'll put garlic in today. Squash it, chop it up, and put it in with the onions. Right, now we get a bowl, and we get some eggs. How many eggs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6. Where we go. Beat them up. And a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Beat it in, and now put in the bean sprouts. Now these you put in the bean sprouts for a reason, because you don't want the bean sprouts to overcook. Just give that a little stir. See, everything's starting to cook nicely. Nice. This is going to give it the flavor, the taste. All right. Beat in the bean sprouts with a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt, about half a teaspoonful. All right. Now, we've got this lot cooked enough to go into the egg foo young. It needs to come off the fire, and we'll put in it some shrimp. Now, you could use canned shrimp if you wanted to. You can use this, but we're going to put in fresh shrimp, and we're not going to overcook them. I'm going to take this lot, let it just cook. Let the shrimp get warmed through in a bowl, right? And then we're going to take the fry pan, same fry pan, remember, no dishes. And we just dump into the fry pan the bean sprouts and the eggs, and we let them cook.
In business is a...
Right, now I'm going to dump this fried rice onto this plate. And there we are. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to garnish it with the omelette. Remember how we had the omelette and we just cut it up into shreds, and all of a sudden we've got, I mean, if you want to put that on top of it to make it look wonderful, you don't have to eat it, do you? Just leave it on there. I mean, you just don't have to pick that up. So that's that done. Now, egg foo young. We have the omelette with the bean sprouts in it, right? And we're just gonna slide it out halfway onto the plate. Why am I going to put it halfway on the plate? Well, I'll show you, because I want to put the shrimps inside it, like a folded omelette, okay? And I want to, and this is, look at that, how pretty that is. And then I want to just flip that over the top. And you take that to the table. Again, if you want to make it look wonderful, get a little bit of cilantro or parsley. That's that one done. All right. Now we're going to make something cold, a salad niçoise. This is a different thing altogether. This is dead easy. we use, here we are, nice bowl and some leftover rice, cold rice. You can do it with cold potatoes, which are nice, cut up in cubes if you want to, but you just make the rice, enough rice in the bowl, and then you get whatever you've got to put in it. Now we start off with lettuce. I like romaine lettuces, and in France they learn to do this, to tear them and leave the spines so that the spine can be put, and then they just tear the lettuce in. Some people just tear them up like that. That's all you need to do. It's this nice crispy lettuce tastes better. It's got more crunch to it. I mean, if you like, you can put what you like in there in the way of lettuce, but just make sure that's in there. We want some tomatoes. Now, if you want to make the tomatoes look wonderful, you can put some in whole, or you can put some in, you just cut them in half. It's your decision. It's your salad. But this essentially is what you're dealing with. We want to put in some avocado. Right. Get a nice ripe avocado. And there you are. We'll cut it in quarters like that. This is the way that I've watched guys do it in sushi bars. All right? And before they make California rolls. And they just get the end and peel skin off like that. That's the best way to do an avocado. If you're going to put it in a salad, just peel it off like that. Cut it up in pieces. Cut it up in pieces. Put it in the salad. All right? Now, you want to make it look pretty? A little bit of red pepper. All right. Cut it like that. There. Bit of red pepper. Little bit of onion. You want onion? No onion today? No onion? Okay, all right. Then what we'll do, let's put a little bit of celery in, because I like a little bit of celery. It gives it crispness. And I'll just, a little bit of celery. Right. Olives. Now, everybody has a problem with olives. Let me show you. When you get married, they have a shower and they give you olive pitters, those terribly expensive things you don't know what to do. This is the way to do it, right? Just squash them, like that. Just squash them, and the pit comes out. Get your knife, look, squash it, take it, and the pit comes out. So you've got all the pits on one side and all the olives on the other side. But then, you know, I don't always bother to take the pits out, because when I have people to dinner, I reckon if they can't figure out for themselves that there's a pit in the middle of the olive, maybe I shouldn't be having them to dinner. All right? So we'll put a few olives in there, like that, and we'll make ourselves a dressing. What we'll do is get a jar, and I'll show you how to do this one day, but right now I'm just going to pour about 2 inches of oil into a jar, like that. I'm going to pour in about ½ an inch of vinegar. You will see how it all goes down to the bottom. It'll just go down there, and that's all you have to worry about. I'm going to just take myself, what have I got here? A little bit of red pepper. A little tiny bit, because it gives it a little jolt. And I'm going to take a little bit of thyme, because that is very French. So about ½ a teaspoonful of thyme. Right. Now, that's almost the dressing, but we come to the anchovies. What do you do with the anchovies? Well, some people like to leave them whole. And some people have got friends who don't like anchovies. So you just, I put them in whole. But if you don't like it, then you just chop them up.
Exploring.
Now what I forgot to do was to put the eggs on the salad niçoise. So I just did that during the break, right? And we'll leave that there because that looks pretty too. And there we are, salad niçoise. Now, quick dessert, leftover rice again. 2 cups leftover rice, and 1, 2, whoops, and 3 eggs. 3 eggs to 2 cups of rice. All right? Stir it in. Turn on the pan. Turn on the fire under the pan. Stir it in. Put in about 2 tablespoonfuls of sugar. If you want it for dessert, stir it in like that. Put in a little bit of butter in the pan. hot pan, a little bit of butter, and dump in, that's all there is to it. Sugar, leftover rice, a couple of eggs. Kids love this for breakfast. Oh, you can eat it for dessert, but make it into a little pancake and just let it cook for about, and well, you let it cook until it's crisp, like you cook everything. You cook things until they're done, and that's just going to go and cook for itself, and that's all we're going to do. So we've done everything here now with eggs, all this lovely stuff, and I'll get this ready for you in just a minute. We'll go to the table and we'll have supper, just you and me. If you like these recipes, put in your recipe box. Write us at Post Office Box 5157, Vancouver, British Columbia. Postal code is V6B4B2.